to maintain 3 or 4 foreign accounts in foreign currencies. And I put this question to some Europeans and others who have spoken about it, whether it would be acceptable to have a chief judge of the United Kingdom, of Germany, of France, of America, to have multiple foreign accounts in foreign currencies, not being a trader, not being a businessman. And if it was that the judge admit to breaching the law, claiming memory loss, if a judge suffers from memory loss, is that the reason he should be allowed to continue to preside? Now, these are countries that like to dismiss us as a nation on corruption. And Buhari had made it a cardinal issue of his campaign, that he's going to fight corruption. You can't fight corruption and do so selectively. So if the Chief Justice of Nigeria says, oh no, I didn't commit any offense, I am just being set up, I'm just being framed, I'm just being intimidated, obviously he will have the sympathy of many, myself inclusive. Because to be honest, if there is conflict between my questions and the position I hold in the party, I have no difficulty in resolving it in favor of my questions. I believe that it is not right. Having admitted to the offense, the only part of honor for me would be for him to spare the judiciary this trauma. But I see increasingly PDP taking this thing as if it is now purely a partisan issue. Otherwise, I wasn't going to talk about it. It is not for nothing that you have not heard my voice, because I didn't think it's a matter that we should politicize, because it will be the end of the beginning if we allow the judiciary to become a partisan thing.
Mr. Chairman,
you know?
I mean...
So for me, once that honor is lost, nothing is left.
The APC government has been heavily criticized over the respect for the rule of law. Several times the court orders have been asked, that have been given by a court of law for a particular person to be released, and that has not been obeyed. So in this sense...
I wouldn't want us to talk generally, because to be honest, it is not for me to defend,
this is not a general
wait. It's not for me, wait a minute. It's not for me to defend whether or not the government has obeyed court orders or not. I need to have the particulars of the case. In any case, that does not fall within my brief. But I need you to remember that the Nigeria Bar Association, when I was president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, they approached us and we gave support. They boycotted, they went on strike. In fact, I remember saying that I taught them how to strike. They went on strike to protest against President Obasanjo's disobedience of court orders. Because when various courts, including the Supreme Court, gave order that the federal government should release the funds for Lagos State local government, PDP, President Obasanjo, bluntly refused to comply with Supreme Court judgment. There are several other judgments like that he disobeyed. Other PDP governors were impeached by 6 assemblymen in a house of about 24 to 30 members. So, it's big to say APC. Who is saying so? Nigerian democracy can't be stable if the rules are just meant for the poor. It cannot be.
So you don't agree for those who say that this is a coup on Nigerian democracy and that we are drifting into a dictatorial era? In fact, former President Obasanjo did say that he's comparing this government to that of the former dictator, military dictator, Sani Abacha. That the actions of this president...
Let's face it. Obasanjo cannot look me to the eye and said those things, because he is a worse dictator. He was worse than Abacha. How many people disappeared under Abacha's watch compared to the number of Nigerians who disappeared under Obasanjo's watch, including his own Attorney General, who didn't get justice?
Are you justifying what is happening under this government?
No, I'm saying that Obasanjo is not a fit and proper person. Even if you reduce it to even family values, Nigerian culture, the argument between him and his son over who is the actual father of his children. I mean, don't talk about Obasanjo. Let's face it. There's a problem I have that in Nigeria, Obasanjo seems to be able to eat his cake and have it. He cannot sermonize of morality.
But if you look at some of the things that are happening, especially in the areas of security, we've seen the killings, some kind of resurgence in the attacks of ISWAP in the attacks of Boko Haram. We've seen attack on military installations around the northeastern region of the country. And one will be worried that this is a government that promised that it's going to secure this country.
No, Shehu, the problem is substantially yours in terms of your appreciation of history. Now, Boko Haram started under PDP, precisely under President Olusegun Obasanjo. It heartened under President Jonathan. The argument is to what extent has this government dealt with Boko Haram? It started under PDP. But for your information, as a former member of the National Council of States, when I was governor of Edo State, President Jonathan did tell us, with all the service chiefs present, and they confirmed one after the other, that he has lost 28 local governments to Boko Haram. Usi flagged the 28 local governments, and therefore requested that election be postponed, because it is impossible to conduct election in 28 local governments. That is not the situation today, Shehu, as a result of a new commander-in-chief. So I believe, whereas you can't say that Boko Haram is completely wiped off, we also cannot argue that, as we speak, there are hosting flag in any of the 774 local governments. So if you ask me the question, I would say yes, a lot has been achieved in the area of security improvement.
Would you say that?
I talk about improvement. Remember, I like to quote what this very fine statement by Obama. You know, he said, it's not about whether something is absolutely perfect. He said, just, is it better? You put the question, is it better for the people in the Northeast today compared to what it was in 2014? The answer is yes. Because in all the 774 local government of Nigeria, the federal government is in charge. Sabisa Forest, people used to think it's one invisible area. The Nigerian Armed Forces have demystified the Sabisa Forest. We still have security problem. Don't let me sound as if I'm justifying the level of insecurity. No, it is work in progress.
Can you rightly face the Nigerian people and tell them that you have performed on what you promised them in 2015 when you were seeking their votes?
So I'll be going around this country. We've visited about 16 states now. We have not only spoken to what we have accomplished, we also admit to what is yet to be done. If we think, and nobody, it's just that again, the media, I hope that you will get to a level where you can play back some tapes. If I have time, and if I had known the question you were going to put, I would have briefed you some quotable quotes from President Jonathan, who said, you can't fix Nigeria in 4 years. President Jonathan said, you can't fix Nigeria in 4 years. He ruled for 6 years. Obasanjo ruled for 8 years. He did not fix Nigeria. And you are saying, oh, Buhari should have fixed Nigeria in 3.5 years.
Well, it perhaps may.
No, what we did promise.
They cannot promise that to make to Nigeria.
What we did promise, what we are doing now. You see, the road to sustainable growth and development, the development literature is very, very clear that the foundation for sustainable growth and development of any country is massive investment in infrastructure, which I believe President Buhari has been doing, in investing in road infrastructure, reviving the railway system, you know, dealing with the complexity of power, which PDP has complicated by the manner in which they privatize the discourse, giving it to people who have neither the know-how nor the resources to invest. So, but this is not to suggest that everything is fine. If we think that we have completed our mission, we will liquidate the party.
Are you confident that those things that you have done will earn your party a victory at the polls in another few days?
Those poor Nigerians, what they've always wanted is an honest leader. You can accuse Buhari of anything, but you cannot say Buhari is corrupt. Even the worst foreign leader has acknowledged that Buhari is a man of honor and integrity. No president before him commanded that kind of respect, not even Obasanjo could. And when the British Prime Minister had the guts to say, Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, the president said, but you are the custodian of the corrupt money. Return the money to me. How many presidents can look at the British Prime Minister's face and say that to them? But he did. So I think Nigerians are not suggesting Those who are going to vote for us, they are not going to do so because they think that the problem has been solved. They see honest intention by a president that cares.
Mr. Chairman,
but we must keep searching for solutions.
Being a governor for 8 years, you will know the ramifications of Nigeria's politics. That
yes.
is dynamic. I mean, the PDP and some analysts have argued. For example, Mr. Bukola Saraki did tell me that your party will lose Southeast and South-South. Your party will not win in North-Central. And they will balkanize the vote that the president has always had in some parts of the Northwest and Northeast. He did essentially say that your party cannot win if it's in a fair and free election.
The campaigns have started. You are in a position to monitor. You can actually quietly go around and find out what people think. And you know the thing about choice is that at the end of the day, no man is good, no man is bad. But when you compare one man with another, nobody will compare Buhari to Atiku. Those who knows Atiku, really? Who knows what it stands for. And this reminds me, the point you need to make, so you understand the foreign interest in our election. When you begin to hear foreign countries going beyond their bound, begin to more or less interfere. Because right now, the Americans are talking about the Russia interference in the American election. It's a subject of investigation as we speak. So no country will tolerate interference. But that you provide technical assistance, we help to monitor, to check, and to ensure that we assist countries to strengthen democracy, all of that is fine. But don't let it get to a level of interference. When you hear Atiku saying, I will privatize NNPC, even if they will kill me, I don't know why he needed to add that one. Who will kill him? He's not speaking to you, Shio, because you don't have money to buy NNPC. I'm not sure how many Nigerians have money to buy an NPC. He's speaking to his Western audience. When he says he will float the Naira, you know whose language, whose value is parroting. Those are IMF agenda. Float the Naira. So if in Atiku's word, floating Naira means 1,000 Naira to $1, so be it. You think that he doesn't know what he's talking? Of course, there are countries, if they have their way, they want Nigeria to remain perpetually underdeveloped.
In 2015 and the past elections that President Buhari has participated, do you think he can earn the kind of votes that he earned in the past in this election?
Of course, he will earn more votes. You know why?
Why?
Somehow, you know, there are things that I really don't want to talk about. You know, PDP tried to give the impression at a point, if you review Nigeria conversations, including some printed, some stories in the print media, there was an attempt to link President Buhari to Boko Haram, that they brought it just to make Nigeria ungovernable for Jonathan. They've changed the narrative now, since he became president. There's nothing they haven't said. Today, the man from the southeast who has seen Buhari building River Niger is no longer a Tory. He didn't have to change his name to Azikiwe, but he's building River Niger. He's restoring the dual carriageway between Onitsha and Enugu. He's doing the one connecting Port Harcourt. There are a number of roads in the southeast that he's doing. So those ordinary traders who ply those roads, they are going to vote for Buhari. Last time they did not vote for him.
So Buhari will have an inroad in the southeast?
Oh, of course.
What about the south?
Look at the outing we had in Enugu compared to, because I was in the campaign in 2015, we can see the difference. We were in Akwa Ibom. You must have seen the pictures in Akwa Ibom. I mean, that is South-South. That ought to be the safe haven of the PDP. It's no longer going to be so.
Mr. Chairman,
you
know that
you saw the outing.
Crowd is not a true reflection. Crowd at rallies are not true reflection of votes.
What are the true reflections? Social media?
No, maybe not.
Okay.
But I'm saying actual votes sometimes are not rally supporters.
You have used one word, sometimes. But most times, they are. Go and try to organize a rally and say you want to be president and see. I have run election. So you remember you acknowledged that I ran election. I was a governor twice. So I understand the language of the electorate. I can read the body language of the electorate. So I know where we are strong, I know where we are weak. So if you were to go to Kebbi, as I have gone, and see with ordinary farmers who are experiencing fresh, new prosperity, because unlike PDP government, this president said, you cannot, and again, that reminds me, he said, we must eat what we produce. Article says he's going to renew importation. He will remove the ban on 42 items so that we can begin to import toothpaste, import toothpick, import plantain, import amala, anything you can import. Those things that have been banned so that Nigerian industries can grow and create jobs. He's going to export our jobs, and import unemployment to the country. Because there is no miracle about job creation. What this government is doing by insisting that you prohibit rights, it requires huge political will.
So Atiku is not a threat to the AP?
No. It's the best thing that has happened in this election.
Really?
The day PDP selected him, we were happy. First, because he cannot plead innocence. Atiku has been in government, and he was a party to many decisions. He supervised over privatization of many enterprises. He was involved in many pronouncements. He was one vice president who was so ambitious that he had to challenge his own president and deny him the right to do second term. So his face is well known. His commitment to business and his conservative credentials are very clear. He doesn't lay pretense to the welfare purpose of government. He doesn't. And look at his language. He says, I will enrich my friends. I would have thought a smart politician would say, I will enrich Nigeria. I will make Nigerians less poor. Because don't forget that the resources of nation states are limited. That's why the economy talk about scarce resources. So the more you enrich your few friends, the less that will naturally be available for the rest of Nigerians.
So you are confident that you might win this election?
I am very confident.
What are your figures telling you? What are your permutations telling you, Mr. Chairman?
See, you are easily one of the most, let's say, the most exposed or visible political analysts, right? Try and put together various statements by PDP. You can see that PDP has already considered defeat. Now, listen to this. I, Oshiomhole, I have always had to win every vote that has been counted in my favor. PDP, until this election from 1999, with the possible exception of the 1999 election, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, PDP recklessly misused the armed forces and the police to write election results. This is the only time that PDP will be going to an election without being in control of the armed forces and the police. So they will have to win every vote. And if you know what is going on in some PDP states where they have state governors, the way in which they try to misuse the police, it tells you that they are panicking. So, I have absolute confidence that whereas I will be the first to admit that I see a lot of job to be done. And I do have a couple of ideas on a couple of things that we have to do differently next time around. But I have no difficulty at all in pointing out what has changed positively for the Nigerian nation.
All right. Let me quickly take you up on the issues that are happening in your party. Some of the states are probably in trouble. In Zamfara State, these are issues. In Ogun State, there's an issue. Some people will say that there is trouble in your party.
There's no trouble at all. First is that we got a good ruling from Zamfara State on Zamfara State election. The Zamfara High Court has ruled that the election conducted in Zamfara are valid and has ordered INEC to accept them. We have forwarded the names to INEC. So Zamfara is settled. Rivers, they are still in court. We are still to hear the final pronouncement from the court in respect of Rivers. Of course, that is worrisome, I admit. It's a pity. We can't blame anybody. We can't blame the judiciary. It's It's our own internal problems. But I concede that that is very unfortunate. As for Ogun State, yes, the governor chose to support somebody or sponsor his preferred candidate on another party platform. Fortunately for him, the law allowed him to choose who to support. But fortunately for us, a governor's support is not a precondition for winning an election, because he himself became governor without the support of the governor that was in office then, Gbega Daniel. So history doesn't tell us that once a governor doesn't support someone, he doesn't win. I became a governor not through the support of a governor. There are many people who became governors in spite of, not because governor backed them. It would be nice for people to subject themselves to discipline, to party discipline. People must recognize that in a contest, it's not about power, as I keep saying. It's about numbers. If the people prefer someone else, as a matter of discipline and commitment to party, you have to accept the candidate of the party. It's unfortunate that a governor will feel that if his own preferred candidate didn't win the primaries, that he will have to go and feed. While he remains a candidate of the party as a senator, he's feeding somebody in another party. But it's his choice. I do not have any instrument to stop him from doing that. But that does not define our victory in Ogun State. As a matter of fact, because Ogun people are very enlightened, I believe that it is not the governor that will tell them who to vote for. They will also have their views as to why a governor will ask them on this election, vote right, on the other election, vote left. Why they should be doing Palogo on election day. The people are wiser than that. I believe we will win in Ogun State. In Imo State, I believe the same thing. Of course, there are challenges, but you see, it is not only in APC that this is happening. Maybe they are happening more transparently. I believe that our political future cannot possibly depend on the hand of any particular individual who chooses to put his personal interests over and above corporate party interests.
Those activities or those reactions of those governors, does it amount to anti-party activities within the frame of the APC laws?
It doesn't require flogging at all.
So, but does it amount to anti-party activity?
I think it's so obvious.
Are you too afraid to discipline them according to the guidelines of the party?
No, it's about taking your time and getting your priorities right. At the eve of election, I'm not going to be distracted to sit down and begin to do a party trial. I'd rather take my message direct to the electorate, because we just want to win the next election. Why will I waste my time on
if this had happened to lesser members of the party who are not governors, would you have done the same thing? Left them and say it's election?
Sure. If you don't appreciate it, I will remind you, I am already in history as the only chairman of a governing party who has had the guts to enforce the rule and disqualify 2 sitting ministers, because I was convinced that they have conducted themselves or did some things that were not in line with the essence of progressive politics. And we disqualified them, even as sitting ministers. And even the fact that the party can stand for a candidate that is not backed by a governor is a statement of courage. If you don't readily appreciate that, I do. So if you are suggesting that I'm probably afraid because it's a governor, that is why we are not disciplined, I'm telling you, you have to decide whether at the eve of a major electoral battle, electoral contest, whether you want to be, you want to devote your time to distractions, going to set up panels, to try, because there are procedures for discipline, or you rather invest this time talking to the electorate who are our ultimate employer. I'd rather devote time and resources now, talk to our electorate in Ogun State about the need to vote for Dapo Abiodun as the next governor. That would be more productive to me than spend the energy on.
Maybe you are looking at the body language of the president, because the president received the candidate of the APM alongside the governor.
I don't listen to the president body doesn't speak. The president mouth speaks, and my ear hears. The president has spoken loud and clear, and I'm sure I know you do monitor not just your own TV program. You must have monitored the interview of Mr. President with, I believe, Arise Television, where he said, how can any one man, including a governor, sit down and say, you will be governor, you will be deputy governor, you will be speaker, you will be senator, you will be House of Rep, and you said that is consensus. And he said the party has been very, very fair. I don't require any more comment than that. That is to his credit. So, but our president is a liberal. He has exceptional capacity to listen and to receive anyone who claims to support him. And like he said in that interview, he said, I can only hope that when people say they are coming to say, I will support you, that they mean it. However, he is very clear. He has only one party, the APC. He supports only candidate feeded on the platform of APC. He has said all of that. I don't think you need to say more. So the issue of body language, why do you talk of body language when the spoken word is there?
Mr. Chairman, so your party is intact?
Absolutely. And in Imo State, we'll win more votes.
Should you lose this election, at the presidential election, what would you do?
What do losers do?
Would you concede easily?
Shehu, let me say this to you. Anybody that knows me will tell you, I fight hard for what I believe in, but I don't play God. I'm a Democrat. When I tell you that Nigeria is bigger than the sum total of all the political parties, it comes from my heart. And when I tell you that if there is conflict between my conscience and my privileged position, I will resolve it in favor of my conscience. It comes from my heart. And those who know me knows that's the way I am. I fight hard, but I don't play God.
Let's close on this note. Do you still want Saraki out as the Senate president?
Saraki, see, if Saraki conveys Senate tomorrow, and we have the number, we will impeach him. Because we can never accept. And I'm happy that he has renewed the fight. There was a basis, an informal, what seems to be an informal understanding that he would put the Nigeria interest over and above partisan interests. So somehow, there was apparently between him and his colleagues some ceasefire. But right now that he's tried to reduce the Senate to a department of the PDP, we will have to impeach him.
Yeah, you have that plan?
Because we cannot, look, we can't accept different standards. Democracy has only one definition. Again, for reasons of avoiding distraction, we didn't have to go to court. Otherwise, when you decamp from a ruling party to a minority party, automatically you forfeit your position. There has to be a time to call it off.
But you may not have the number to remove.
We have the number.
2/3.
We have the number. We have 2/3. We have 2/3. The mistake you are making, go and read the Constitution very well. Read it. Because it depends on, who is parroting the views, but read it by yourself, because some of these things are not rocket science. At least you are literate enough, I'm literate enough. The Constitution says to impeach president, vice president, you need 2/3 of all the members of the Senate. To impeach governor and deputy governor, you need 2/3 of all the members of the State House of Assembly. And it goes on to say, to impeach a Senate president, you need 2/3 of members. It didn't say of all members. It means members sitting. So anytime that Senate sits, and we have 2/3, we will sack Saraki. We will be impeached. We will sack Dogara. They will be impeached. So that we protect our democracy. Our democracy is bigger than Saraki.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Shehu.
Honorable Chairman, for your time on the program. Thank you so much.